No, it's
Val Kilmer. This broke yesterday,
Yeah.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Thought it was, well, actually, late last night, I think Mitch shared it or somebody in our chat.
I want to say Mitch shared it, but then when I looked it up, I couldn't. So the New York Times broke this, I think, was the first news outlet. And of course, I couldn't go there to read their article because it's one of those stupid things where you have to subscribe to it to be able to read the article.
Sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes you can see an article, but it's just a tease.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you get this one for free, but from now on, no, I think that's fucking stupid.
Yes.
Just free news outlets out there. News should be free. Fuck off.
Yeah. Read my papers.
Yeah. That'll happen. But no, so he'd been battling throat cancer for years. I want to say in 2010s is when he was kind of diagnosed with that. Apparently he died of pneumonia, according to his daughter.
Yeah.
I think was the one that kind of broke that. 65 years old.
Yeah.
Way too young.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of good, I don't know if you want to say mileage out of Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
But a lot of my favorite films have starred Val Kilmer in it.
Yeah.
Very first movie I ever saw in theaters was Top Gun.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's how I got to know Val Kilmer. And then, of course, my favorite ones, Tombstone, Heat. You had a few other ones in there.
Sure.
What was it? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That's a good
was in Willow, which was one of his earlier roles. I think that even predates Top Gun, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a year after Top Gun.
Is it?
I think so.
He was still pretty damn young in that movie. But,
yeah. Well, that's the wild thing is, Top Gun was, I think, the first time I knew of him. And then it was Willow, I think.
Yeah.
And then, as you get older, especially once the DVD boom happened, you got all these movies, just discovering new movies as a young adult, whatever, like Real Geniuses, that predates that. Top Secret, which is underrated. I think it's finally getting its appreciation, but it was like the Naked Gun before Naked Gun.
Yeah.
The Zucker brothers, I think, did it, and it was really cool. It's funny. It's really
I think what helped his filmography out a lot was the Val documentary.
Yes.
Or documentary.
Right.
Whatever. I can't speak today.
2021. That was
I know you had spoken about that forever, and then I finally went and watched it, and I was just blown away.
Yeah, it's a real treat because you see all these behind the scenes, like every movie set he was on since he had his video camera.
Yeah.
And you even see like actors who got nothing to do with production. I think Kevin Bacon's in one of them. It's before they were big. They were just actors. And not really known.
That was, you go back and think about like when we went to the DVD era, we started getting like behind the scenes stuff a lot more. Sure. Whereas before that, you didn't really get that kind of stuff unless you watched like Inside Edition or something. They just happened to do a segment on it.
Right.
But
say
very much. I was very surprised, and I will admit, got pretty emotional when I saw him in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
just because it was not really expected. I kind of thought with his health issues, they would mention him in passing. But to have him actually share the screen with Tom Cruise and
it was
get that moment between Iceman and Maverick, that was probably the last thing I saw him in.
Yeah, and it was the last thing. I mean, I think Val came out after, but obviously it's a documentary. But this, since sadly because of the cancer, his throat cancer, he lost his voice, and so he did. Oh gosh, what was it called? The Snowman or something? He did some cheaper, lower budget films after his incident, and it was badly dubbed every time. And Top Gun Mavericks when they finally got it right. And Kilmer partnered with this Sonetic tech company. They, I guess, created his AI powered voice for that Top Gun Maverick scene.
Oh wow.
And like once I heard that, back when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, he could do more acting possibly. But obviously, it takes a lot out of him. He's very, kind of frail a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
And that doc was great because it really showed his vulnerability. He was going through some shit, and it also it documented his marriage breaking up.
Yeah.
Him wanting to be with his kids. He actually married the actress from Willow, Joanne Whalley. And they have 2 kids together.
Right.
So, that's a great documentary. Great work. He also did The Doors.
Yes, he did.
Became Jim Morrison.
He did an awesome Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
My God.
Some actor came forward today and said that he should have got the Oscar for that because he was nominated. I can't remember which actor. Of course, there's been lots of tributes pouring from Hollywood. I should have read them prior, but I figured our own tributes are probably good enough
right
now. But,
and from a nerd standpoint, we got Batman.
Batman Forever, yeah. I will. I am a rarity, maybe. Batman Returns was like the first time I was disappointed coming out of the theater. I just had so much hype for it. Batman Forever at that time was a breath of fresh air for me. I know it's aged kind of poorly since then. I get it. It's very different, but I was just so disappointing Returns that when Forever came out, like I dug it. I dug him as Batman. Like everything was great. In fact, that Batmobile was pretty badass, and I almost bought it like today just to put it on the table.
Right.
Because it's like $20 at Target right now. Last I looked, it's been a month, but it came with the figure and stuff.
Right.
Like, oh, those are probably gone by now.
Well,
after this.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit that the Joel Schumacher Batman films, I've shit on them so hard.
Even when they came out at the time?
At the time, I liked Batman Forever, but it does not age well.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
And the Burtons, right?
And the Burtons, right. But Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne Batman was amazing.
Yeah.
I really liked him as that.
Really good.
And, I would have maybe liked to see him do a sequel.
Yeah.
You know, if Batman and Robin didn't turn out to be just a 2-hour toy commercial.
Right. I think he was going to reprise his role, but
I think he was too, and it just kind of broke down.
Yeah, I think he didn't get along with Joel Schumacher too well. Yeah, there's been a lot of he's been kind of hard to work with. They say
he did have a reputation for that, but he was also very protective of his craft and kind of a perfectionist in that regard.
And
but
most of his movies show that. Like he chooses pretty wisely.
He does, yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, in the 2000s and the 10s, I don't think he had a lot of offerings, so the choices were great. But Red Planet was like his last huge movie, I think.
Yeah.
And that was all right. I don't know too much about it.
There was one I saw. I should have looked this up before we started. There was one I saw. It wasn't a very big movie, but there was one where he was in prison. He was like this old
yes, I've seen
prison
on
inmate,
TikTok or something.
And it was he was with, I want to say, Stephen Dorff.
Yeah,
was his co-star in it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I watched that was because of Blade, because I like Deacon Frost.
Yeah.
But I want to say that was probably up until Top Gun Maverick. That was the most recent movie I'd seen him in. Even in that, you could tell he was kind of, which probably was part of the character. He was
Trichotomy, probably, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But even then, he was kind of out of shape, just kind of going through the
there was
motions. He didn't have a lot of speaking roles in it, and when he did, he was very soft-spoken.
Yeah.
But man, what a tremendous loss, and it's just kind of it's heartbreaking.
It is, but yeah, after watching that documentary, you know, it was a real treat, and yeah, I suspected he probably couldn't do too much. I mean, he battled after having all the surgeries for like 11 years or so, and that's got to take a toll on you.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a beautiful documentary. It's still on Amazon Prime, I believe. So
yeah,
I got this for Val, so I already think half of it. Sorry, Val, but I don't know if you guys. I'm sure where you live, you see these in stores. So like $10-11, given the area you're in. But I decided to break down and buy one the other day, so I got the most girly one of them all. But I just like the color. I was telling Bill though, I don't like the aftertaste too much. But
yeah,
for you, Val will do it, I guess.
Right.
Pop that off. That little effect.
Yeah, but man, there's not many. We talk about a lot of celebrity deaths on this podcast, and
because it's fun.
Yeah, we really enjoy it. We enjoy your suffering, Hollywood. There's not many that have made me emotional
from our generation.
You know what I mean? When Stan Lee passed, I was like, man, that's a big part of my childhood, and this is another big part of it because my God, he's just
I know,
had such a huge impact on all of us. I think.
I know. I think we're just thankful that he got one more part in a big movie. I think Top Gun Maverick didn't end up making like $1 billion. So
yeah,
not that he was searching to do that, but
well,
quite a career, and I think almost everything he's in has been great. I
don't think I've ever walked away from a Val Kilmer performance saying, man, I wish he took a little more seriousness with his role. Like, he was just one of those guys that just loved his craft and loved what he did. And